Coach, I had a great setup for you. Everything. Did you hear my great setup for you?
I didn't hear it, Rich. Something happened. We had some technical issues here.
Would you like me to repeat it?
I'd like a quick recap.
Okay,
yeah.
sure. Here it is. He's 3-0 for the fourth consecutive year, although there were some dicey moments at the Rose Bowl last week to make it 3-0 for a fourth consecutive year, and a big Pac-12 opening against Arizona. He's Jim Mora here on the Rich Eisen Show.
That was nice.
Did I stick the landing? I thought I stuck the landing right there.
I think you did.
I think so. Are the Patriots in charge of our communication? Is that essentially what I should assume?
Them or the Cardinals? The St. Louis
I don't know.
Cardinals.
Thanks for joining me on the program, Coach. I appreciate it. And in that game, at what point did you realize that this was the game that everybody knows is going to happen to a freshman quarterback, where adversity is going to hit? At what point did that begin to hit you, Coach?
Well, the first interception, I was like, well, okay. He kind of tried to throw it across his body and lost it in there. And then the second one, it was a third one. It was a third interception because it was right in front of me. And I was like, hey, Josh, this isn't high school anymore. These kids are bigger and fast. Well, actually, it's BYU, so it wasn't kids, it was men.
That's right.
And you know what? The thing about Josh, though, Rich, is that he doesn't, he's not flustered at all. He just kind of keeps rolling. But you could tell it was an off night. I was like, throw it to the guys in the blue shirts, not the white shirts.
Yeah, that's right. Well, The neat thing, though, is you have a guy like Paul Perkins and an offensive line like you have to basically say, okay, let's reverse course a little bit here and put the ball in the hands of our running back. And career high 219 rush yards later, you have the win out of the Rose Bowl. I mean, what did you say to your young running back? We're going to saddle you up here at that point?
Yeah, we went into the game thinking that we wanted to run it, and that was going to be our emphasis. I didn't know that we were going to run it for almost 300 yards. But, when Josh was struggling a little bit and we were having trouble throwing the ball, we just leaned heavily on our offensive line and our run game. And, our offensive line, we've given up a lot of sacks over the last 3 years, and so far this year we have not given up a single sack through 3 games. So, if we can keep that going and keep running the ball, Josh is going to be fine. I mean, this kid's special, Rich. I mean, I hope you get a chance to come and watch him play in person, because I know football and You've been around a lot of great players. And I think you'll come up to me, regardless of how he plays, you'll go, wow, Jim, this kid, he's something special. He's unique. He's different.
I'm going to take you up on that. I'll bring my kids, too, to come to the Rose Bowl. I want you to. Thank you. I appreciate that. Well, but that's it. How unvarnished have the film sessions been this week?
They've been good. I mean, everything's been good. It's that old 24-hour rule. You watch the game, you learn your lessons, you try to apply them going forward, and then you get on the next one. And we've got a great Arizona game this week, a great Arizona team, I'm sorry. And so we got to get right on it. And we got on it this morning with a 7 a.m. practice. It was a good practice, so we're ready to roll.
Yeah, and it does appear that All-American Scooby Wright III is going to come back from his knee injury. How good is this kid, do you think, Jim?
Oh, man, he's awesome. He's fun to watch. He's no fun to play against, but he's fun to watch. He plays the game the way it's supposed to be played. He's fast, he's physical, he has fun, he's all over the field. He's got great energy, great tackler. He's just a tremendous player. And, like I said, I love watching him play, but I love watching him play against other people. I don't love watching him play against us.
Jim Mora joining me here on the program. What is it about conference play that makes things different? I mean, we saw with Ole Miss and Alabama this week, and obviously we saw some other games going on in college football this week where conference play begins and things just go a little haywire. Well,
history, I think. First of all, you know each other so well, and there's a history, and there's a pattern to the games, and then they're so important to where you're trying to get, which is to the championship game, your conference championship game. And we've had some success against Arizona, but it's come, very grudgingly on their part, and I don't know. It's just there's an intensity to it. It's and this Pac-12 is so competitive, man. There's no gimmies. There's no easy ones. And for us, this is a big game because this is the team that won the Pac-12 South last year. We beat them, but they won the conference or won our part of the conference. So, we've got something to prove.
And what about nationally, though? You always hear SEC is the best conference in the country. Jim, what do you say to that, knowing what you've seen and how much football you've seen in front of you for
I don't
decades?
know. I mean, for me, it's hard to judge which conference is the best. I think this is an incredibly competitive conference. I think, obviously, the SEC is very competitive. But I guess the team that wins the national championship should be able to say we're the best conference because we have the champion. Maybe that's how I look at it. I don't know. All I'm concerned about right now, Rich, is I'm going back into coach speak.
Good team in front of you.
Well against, the team, Arizona Wildcats. Not the Arizona Cardinals, the Arizona Wildcats.
Okay, I like that. No problem. Look, you can always go one game at a time with me. You and I go way back. I understand.
I know. I've got to do the one game at a time thing. It's how I function the best.
Here's my favorite coaching cliche, though. You ready for this one? Okay.
Give it to me.
I don't have a crystal ball. Right?
I don't have a crystal ball.
I don't have a crystal ball. Right? I mean, I'm asking, what's going to happen in the Pac-12 season? What's going to happen with Josh Rosen?
I don't have a crystal ball, Rich. I don't know. I mean, we just take it one game at a time.
Now, does your dad have a crystal ball? Have you ever seen a crystal ball in the hands of a coach?
No, I've never seen a crystal ball. I think, no, I don't think we've ever seen a crystal ball.
Oh, no.
Jim, like the guy in The Wizard of Oz, he had a crystal ball.
He did?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Jim Mora joining me here. Did you hear the back and forth between Cliff Kingsbury and Brett Bielema?
I did. I thought it was hilarious. I really did.
Could you just? We've got 40 seconds of it cut. Here, just for.
Well, my first impression was Cliff. That dude can dress. Doesn't he look like Ryan Gosling? Doesn't he look like Ryan? I mean, he had that look. He had like the little flower thing on his lapel. Sweet looking tie.
Yeah.
The vest, the tight suit.
He did have a Gosling thing going on.
The clean-looking haircut. He could have been a Hollywood actor.
Yeah.
I mean, the dude looks sweet.
Here's the best stuff for our listeners who may not have heard it. Mike, don't you?
I just think the physicality. That's a program that prides themselves on being physical. And the Texas High School Coaches Convention this summer, he stood up and said, if you don't play with a fullback, we'll kick your ass. If you throw it 70 times a game, we'll kick your ass. And he just got his ass kicked twice in a row, and probably next week by A&M as well. So that did feel good.
If that was an ass kicker, I'd love to see what last year was. But obviously, it's all about what you've done for me lately. I'd move on from it. I'm happy he got to vent, and hopefully he feels a lot better. And as a coach that's been in it for 10 years, I know better than to worry about somebody that's been around for a couple that are 500. So we'll just go forward.
Coach.
I don't like it. I mean, look, it's egos. It's okay. I mean, hey, I guess it is what it is. I think the focus should be on the players playing the game. And, I try to go into every press conference talking about our young men are out there putting it on the line every game, not me. A coach never plays another coach. Like, they haven't lined up and played against each other. So, anyway.
How difficult is it sometimes to control the inner Jim Mora monologue? When you're up there at a podium.
It's a constant battle, Rich. You know me. It's a constant battle. It's only a matter of time before I say something stupid. I can go along and do pretty well, and then you just know every time I open my mouth, I'm getting a little bit closer to saying something stupid.
Well, then before I let you go, talk about your buddy in Atlanta who's 2-0 now, and he's going to take on a Cowboys team that has their backup quarterback and backup wide receiver. Dan Quinn's 2-0 for Atlanta.
I'm fired up for him. Big win on Sunday, coming back in the fourth quarter on the road. Doesn't surprise me at all. They've got a good quarterback. I knew that he'd get them playing good defense. They can run the ball. He's the right kind of personality for a team like that. And those players are going to play really hard for him. They're going to love him. Not that players play for their coach, but I think, that I'll give you another coach's cliche, Rich.
Yep.
Teams take on the personality of their coach. Okay? But really, you're going to see that with Atlanta and Dan Quinn. Those guys are going to love him. They already do.
Last question for you. Why, certainly with Brandon Weeden out there this week, and you grooming a young quarterback yourself right now, and having had quarterbacks at all levels, why is it so tough to fill out a roster of 64 quarterbacks in the National Football League who are almost as good as the next? Why is it so tough?
The position is so hard to play. I was with Steve Young in San Francisco, and this guy's in the Hall of Fame. He's one of the greatest to ever play the game, and he used to vomit before every game because he was so nervous, knowing that he had to take the snap every single offensive play of the game, and there's just an enormous amount of pressure on you to perform every single play. It's not like some positions where you might be able to take a play off, or you're not at the point of attack, or they don't throw to your guy, or they're not throwing to you. I mean, or someone subs in for you at quarterback. It's an all-day sucker, and it's tough, and you're the one that everybody's looking at, and you're the one that everybody blames or praises, and it's hard, and not everybody can handle that, and not everybody has the mindset, not everybody has, obviously, the skill set or the decision-making ability to be able to perform at this level. It's so competitive, and it's just so much, it's so much harder than it appears to be to people that haven't been in the business or haven't played the positions. It's incredibly, incredibly competitive.
Coach, I appreciate the time. I can only control what I can control, and I take it one interview at a time and hope for the best, but this was great. Thank you.
I always love talking to you guys. You guys have a great day, okay?
You too. Good luck in Arizona.
All right, thanks.
That's Jim Mora. Tuesdays with Mora right here.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern. On Audience.